Matt Wyatt Show. The guy who's the color commentator for Mississippi State football and SEC baseball. So yeah, he brings a lot to the game, and he's right here.
Right now.
Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
All right, let's do it. What's today? Tuesday? Yeah. So, second day of the week. Welcome into the show. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau studio. Farm Bureau, go with the home team. A lot coming your way. I want you to be a part of the show today if you can. I'd love to hear your voice. Y'all call me on the Davini phone. I'll give you the number right now. 995-1059. 601 number, 995-1059. That's the number to call me. And if you prefer texting, which a lot of people do, that's cool too. We got a big, beefy, with plenty of channels, plenty of lanes for you to fill up here on the Country Pleasing text line. It's 885-ESPN. So text me today. Love to hear from you. Hi, Blake says hello on the Facebook live stream. So welcome into everybody who's watching a live stream somewhere. I think it live streams on 3 different platforms via video live stream, and that is Facebook, Periscope, which is Twitter, and YouTube. So hi to everybody at those 3 places as well. Y'all comment if you type in a comment or a question. I did not do a great job of getting to all your comments on Facebook and Periscope and YouTube yesterday. I'll promise to do a better job today. How about that? All right, so welcome in on this Tuesday. I'm here. JB's here. JB? Tuesday.
Yes, sir. What's happening, buddy?
Tuesday off to a good start for you?
I worked at the golf course this morning. Got there at 6:30.
Attaboy.
Finished up. Watched people sweating.
Yeah, on the I would imagine that this time of year, like the course is more popular than the driving range when it gets to be 100 degrees. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the course I work at on Tuesday and Thursday, it's $25 all day, so we're slammed.
Yeah, I bet you are. That's cool. All right, so JB's here. Most importantly, y'all are here, and I really appreciate you listening, however you're listening, watching. And, again, feel free to get on in here. There's a lot to get to today. Later in the show, as you know, yesterday was the first day of a new kind of format for this show. In other words, covering 3 hours leading up to Jake Wimberly in the afternoons on 105.9 The Zone. If you listen live. Now, if you listen elsewhere, it doesn't really change. If you're watching the stream, if you're listening maybe at WVBG in Vicksburg at night, nothing really changed. But if you listen live in Jackson, there's a little extra, and we lead you up there to Jake, The Drive, which starts at 3 o'clock now as opposed to 4. And Jesse texted us on the Country Pleasing text line. He said, thank you, Matt and Jake, for getting Feinbaum off this station. Well, he's not off. He's listening at a different time. He comes on a little bit later. Also, hey to Owen. Hi to my sister Beth, who's watching on Facebook and says hello. Hi to you, Beth. Love ya. Kevin said, we missed you last week, Matt. Well, missed y'all too. I did. Certainly did. Miss y'all. Glad to be back, though. Vacation was great. A little sunburn, not too bad. I'm one of those. I'm not to the Mark Zuckerberg extent of sunscreen. I don't know if y'all saw that picture that popped up. I'm not to that extent with the sunscreen, but I am a believer in sunscreen, certainly for obvious reasons. Yeah, but not too bad. Earlier today, in fact, I had on a T-shirt. It was kind of loose, big T-shirt. And my daughter looked at me and she said, Daddy, you've got a tan line on your neck. And then she said, your whole head is tanned. See, and she's not used to seeing that at all. Tan for me is not tan for most people. It's just a whole lot different is what it is. Ghost Pepper sends us a hashtag. All it says is hashtag Clower Power. We're going to get Jerry Clower back on the intro. We were all busy. You know, we'll get it back. I promise we'll get it back. Jeremy says, can you give an intro to who JB is? I must have missed that. Yeah, all right. He's the man of many names. You know, it's like the opposite of Clint Eastwood, JB.
That's exactly right. I am big time the opposite of Clint Eastwood.
He was the man with no name.
That's
right?
Correct.
You are the man with many names. Dr. Brojo, John, Brother John, and JB. And am I leaving anything out?
The only one you're missing is what my mom and dad used to say when they were really hot with me.
Johnny Boy?
John David.
Yeah, they give you the middle name, then you know you know what's up.
You don't know whether to run away or run to them.
No doubt. Well, Jeremy, to answer your question, this all goes back to when Roger went to heaven, quite literally, as far as I'm concerned, back in March when Roger passed away. And at that moment, the reason this show kept going is because Beaver, who already works a full-time job and does multiple radio shows, added another one, mine, and began producing my show as well and kept it afloat. And with the new format, Beaver has been a long-time part of Jake's show in the afternoon, as well as the Gridiron previous to this show on 105.9. So he had a full day, and so when we added another hour here, and this show added another hour of Jake, and moved the Feinbaum show later in the evenings, it just meant that, Beaver couldn't do all of it. And as soon that the day that Jake and I began to talk, like the first thing we said was, "What about JB?" He said, "That's exactly what I was thinking." and
I'm glad you did, man.
Well, believe me, we're glad too. We're glad
Thanks,
too.
Sir.
So, so y'all can call him whatever you want to. JB's easy for me, and every now and then maybe Brother John. Dr. Brojo has too many syllables for the radio, but it really is a cool Twitter handle, I'll tell you that much. And y'all can follow him on Twitter that way if you want, at Dr. Brojo. Follow him on Instagram as well. I encourage you to do that. All right, so listen, there is news today. The SWAC ain't going to play football this fall. I don't know if you saw that. It's a fact, and I'm going to get to it. But I'm not sure this is bigger, but I know this is maybe nearer and dearer to many more people out there as you listen in your cars and you listen online. And by the way, if you ever do want to listen online, you can stream it on the website, which is thezone1059.com, thezone1059.com if you want to do that. But you can also just get the iHeart app, and whenever, that's how I listen to Bo's show in the mornings, and a lot of times at Gridiron, even at times when I'm out late leading up to this show, I have the iHeart Radio app. It's free. It works great. You can tune into millions of podcasts and radio shows, and then get the iHeart Radio app and just type in, 105.9, The Zone, Jackson, Mississippi, sports, and there it is. And any of those keywords will get you there, and you add it to your favorites. You'll have it there. Just open up the app, click play anytime you want to listen, wherever you are. So that's a good way to do it. Yeah, so I'm going to get to the SWAC, but y'all need to know this. JB, you need to know this.
Talk to me.
Today is National Junk Food Day.
Well, I started out good then.
Really? Explain.
Yeah. Oh, I had a big, greasy bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit for breakfast. That's about as junky as you can get.
Yeah, I wonder what the calories are in that.
I didn't even try to count.
Yeah, well,
I'm kind of like you. I as Mary Liddy said yesterday, we get 10 cheat days.
You get 10 cheat days? That's great. I don't know where she got that. That's funny, though. Yeah, so you did. You started off with some junk food. Today is National Junk Food Day, and people argued with me with one of my top 4. I posted them on Twitter with a picture. My top 5 all-time, me personally, top 5 all-time junk foods that I love. Number 1, Little Debbie Star Crunch. As a kid growing up, anytime, I had a lunch box or a snack bag, or maybe you're like at Bible school at church, and they bust out the Star Crunch Little Debbies, I could eat 1,000,000 of them. That's number 1 for me. Number 2 would probably be Goldfish crackers. Somebody goes, "Well, Matt, those are baked." Look, don't throw this baked crap at me. That's junk food, okay? And I eat them by the handfuls now. And I got hooked on them when we started buying those big gallon cartons of Goldfish crackers for my daughter when she was a toddler. I've eaten a whole lot more of them than she has. Okay? And they go, somebody even said that on Twitter. "Hey, a baked cracker is junk food? Give me a break." I'm like, no, you give me a break. It's junk food. And so that's probably number 2 for me. Number 3 would be the Arby's curly fries. Number 4, the Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes. And then number 5, it's a piece of candy, but it's Atkinson's peanut butter bars. You used to get them at Halloween.
Oh, my gosh.
You know what I'm talking
about? Those are epic.
Are they not the best?
With a glass of milk?
Oh, yeah, milk. Oh. Well, you know what you drink with them when you're an adult, don't you? A fresh, hot, piping cup of High Point Roasters coffee.
I wish we had some of that down here in the studio. We have some other kind of generic coffee. It's good, but it's not as good as the High Point.
Yeah. You know what Roger used to do?
Bring us some.
Roger used to call me a coffee snob every time I walked in there with my own thermos of coffee. He would laugh and make fun of me and say, "Hey, yeah, you're not going to go in there and slumming it with the rest of us drinking community coffee, are you?"
Yeah. Well, I know you got a big foot, so if the shoe fits.
Yeah, it did kind of fit. But you're right. I tell you what, if I move down there at any point and we start doing the show there every day, we will put our own coffee operation in the studio just for us from 12 to 3.
Oh, that sounds like a winner.
Does that sound like a wiener? All right. A winner? Okay, good.
There you go.
My sister Beth commented on the Facebook live stream, and she says cosmic brownies. I got to look that one up, Beth. I mean, it sounds good. Is that the Little Debbie brownies where it's just like a chocolate square with like 3 little pieces, crumbs of nuts sprinkled on top of it?
I've heard of cosmic brownies, but the last time I heard them, they were from Colorado.
Mm-hmm. That's a whole different kind of cosmic.
I'm telling you, it's out of this world.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right. A couple things. Well, let's see. First of all, watching on Periscope right now on National Junk Food Day, Caleb says number 1, Reese's peanut butter cups. Number 2, Oreos. Number 3, Popeye's spicy tenders. Now, hold on a minute. Hold on. Are we full on putting fried chicken on a junk food list? Is that where we're going, Caleb? I didn't go there. And then he says number 4, or like I have on my list, Arby's fries. And he said, also, I'm feeling inspired by your weight loss and working out during my lunch break now. Yeah, I bet you are working out because you're having these cravings, Caleb. And you had no problem putting together your top 4 junk food, right? Because if it was in front of you right now, it would take some tremendous willpower. All right, Country Pleasing text line. Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. It is the best sausage you have ever eaten. As far as I'm concerned, I've had a lot of sausage. Nothing else compares. You need to try it. I got a brand new package of jalapeno and cheddar yesterday in my order from Kroger. Opened that package up this morning, sliced off a bunch of it and cooked it for breakfast. Yep, it's a daily routine. I am living proof that you can lose 35, 40 pounds and still eat country pleasing sausage every day. And I'm not exaggerating. Well, pretty much every day. All right. Let's see. Tiger David also said hashtag Clower Power. They want Jerry Clower back. We'll get that done. Let's see. That looks like a conversation going on with somebody else. I don't know what that is. All right, from G in Florence. Matt, I'm hoping to hear Jack Crystal's voice in that intro as well. I have incredible memories of him calling plays for MSU. His voice brought out a visual of football that I don't know if I can ever regain. Something happens inside of me when I hear Jack's calling of a play. It's really neat. I think probably a lot of that for you, G, and others is some nostalgia built in there as well. Voices, sounds, smells, sights, you get that nostalgic feeling of something familiar. That's what I do. Now, maybe not everybody is the same, but that's what I do. And so maybe every now and then I'll hear or see a replay of an old game on television. It'll be Keith Jackson calling that game, and I'll hear that voice, he and Bob Greasy on TV, and that'll take me back to being a kid, sitting in the living room, watching a game on a Saturday, Michigan, Ohio State, something like that, Or watching, he'd call Alabama games. I grew up in Alabama, so we got to see those on TV. So I think a lot of that's nostalgia. For me, and I think for a lot of others. T-Mite says, hey, Matt, those are all part of the basic food groups. Yep. Goldfish crackers. curly fries from Arby's, Little Debbie Star Crunch, Christmas tree cakes, and don't forget that peanut butter candy. Ooh, make your tongue slap your hat off. Hey, let me give you a heads up. Later today, we're going to talk to a couple of guests. We're going to join in hour 2 Jim Dunaway, one of the hosts of the Jocks Roundtable at WJOX in Birmingham. I want to talk with Jim and see what they're hearing about the season opener for Alabama. You know, they had USC scheduled. That's gone. Then it was rumored they were going to play Notre Dame. I don't think that's happening. Then it was rumored that Alabama might play BYU. I haven't heard anything from it the last couple of days. I'm going to see what he's hearing about it. That's coming up. Also, Big Ben McDonald, the number 1 draft pick in the 1989 Major League Baseball draft. Big star at LSU, played 2 sports at LSU. Number 1 pick. Orioles took him number 1. He made his Major League debut for the Baltimore Orioles on this day, July 21st, 1990, exactly 30 years ago. And it was a fantastic Major League debut for Big Ben. Y'all know Ben now as like the best baseball analyst on ESPN. Now, he does college, but I said just baseball, period. He's the best baseball analyst they have at ESPN. And we're fortunate to get him in college baseball. We get him in Starkville and Oxford a whole bunch. College teammate at LSU of Mike Bianco. Anyway, Ben's scheduled to be on the show. We're going to kind of relive what it was like for him making his Major League debut 30 years ago today. And I'll give you the details and the box score of what happened in that game. It's pretty incredible. Speaking of the Orioles, who reside in Baltimore, a guy who's right up under their nose and calling us on the Davini Equipment phone line. Jay in Baltimore, big baseball fan. What's up, Jay? Jay, can't hear you just at the moment. We'll get you turned up. Hang on. I know you're punched up, but I don't hear you. And JB, we may have to try to get him on again if we've got a bad connection, something of the like. I tweeted out that historical nugget, by the way, earlier today about Ben McDonald. And I noticed that Jay up in Baltimore liked it on Twitter. Huge baseball fan. You know, and I'm enjoying watching baseball. I'm enjoying watching highlights. This morning I was in the other part of my house in there kind of, exercising, push-ups, sit-ups, curls with dumbbells, doing all that kind of stuff, trying to get it in about a half hour. And standing in front of a TV, turned it over to Major League Baseball Network. They're showing me a replay of a game. And I have Dish, but apparently Dish and NFL Network are in some kind of dispute because my NFL Network channel is gone. Much like the Fox Sports Regionals, those were gone last year. I didn't get to watch the second half of the year, the Braves games, all that kind of stuff. So that was disappointing. NFL Network's gone. They don't get it back pretty soon. We'll be switching. Send the word up the ladder to Dish. Let them know. We'll all be switching if they start messing with our sports, even though we don't have sports. All right, let's try Jay again. Jay in Baltimore on the Davini Equipment phone. Jay, can you hear me now?
Can you hear? Yeah, man,
yeah,
I can hear you.
I got
loud
you.
And clear. You got me?
Got you loud and clear. What's up?
All right. Well, I was just going to say, Ben McDonald, he's not only beloved in the South there in Louisiana, he's still beloved up here in Baltimore. But no, I was calling basically because obviously we're a couple of days away from the Major League Baseball, and I'm one that is really excited about it only being 60 games. But it got me thinking about maybe are there any records out there that some of these guys are chasing that are going to be at a disadvantage only having 60 games versus the 180 that they usually have. Does anything come to mind in terms of records that these guys are going to be at a real disadvantage at?
No. The only thing that I could think of, Jay, is it would play out several years down the road. I mean, like if you were to look at young careers of guys like, I don't know, whether it's, home runs for a Judge or a Stanton or, some kind of benchmark down the road for a Mike Trout. And then we might look back and go, well, 5 years ago, the season got cut short. But I don't know off the top of my head anybody who's getting ready to set some record this year. I just think it would play out farther down the road. Does that make sense?
I agree with you. I could not come up with anybody. But the other thing I was thinking about, what if someone hits 400 this year? Of course, it's going to have a big asterisk by it, but I just certainly wouldn't be surprised to see somebody get hot and hit 400, and we'll be talking about that for years. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, thank you. We certainly will. And as you said that, Jay, Wes, who's watching on Facebook, said that, 407, that batting average of 407, just what if? Man, if it's a 60-game season, it's an asterisk. Somebody's over 400 or whatever that average is. It's a big old asterisk. Somebody was saying that a lot of the players are going, 60 games, about like playing a college season. And it is. Just a little bit later in the year. And JB, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask Jimmy to hang on. I know the music is about to start. I'm watching that clock, and I don't want to get him, cut off too short. So if he can hang on, we'll come to him on the other side of the break on the Davini Equipment phone. Also, Trey and Denzel and Norman and Jason and everybody over here on the Country Pleasing text line. I'm going to get to yours coming up. I do want to give you the details on what the SWAC decided to do. By now, you've probably heard, if you're a Jackson State fan, Alcorn State fan, just, maybe your team had one of those SWAC teams on the schedule. But the SWAC, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, no fall sports, no football this fall, spring at the earliest. That's the basics. I'll give you a few more details on that. University of Texas says they're trying to put 50% of their fans in their stadium. Well, 50% of the stadium capacity. Maybe that's a good sign, actually, for now, towards college football. Plenty more coming your way as we just get started with you on this Tuesday. I'm Matt in the Farm Bureau studio. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
How you like my hog hat? That stands for Country Pleasing Sausage. Country Meat Packers is a great Mississippi company. Let me tell you a little bit about them, huh? You want to know the reason that you need to sit down at the table and say, Country Pleasing, please? Here's why. It all starts with hand-picked, pure pork. No parts, no stuff. It's hand-picked ham, bacons, pork loins, the real deal. They produce Country Pleasing in small batches also, which means consistency in every package. Spices, fresh ones that are mixed daily on site right there at the plant in Florence. The hand-picked pure pork is coarse ground for an old-style snappy bite, better flavor. Now, their smokehouses are not cookie-cutter houses either. They are designed and built for country meat packers and for their own smoking methods. And they use hickory logs that they split daily on site. They don't use hickory sawdust. The logs produce a better smoke, a stronger flavor. It's the real deal. They use a natural hog casing for their sausage. It's soaked in vinegar for a tender snap. Country Pleasing sausage is smoked in a 4-hour pure smoke process for the best color and flavor. And here's the thing, it's hand cut, so the package experience is great as well. When you check it out on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast, you'll see what I'm talking about. And frankly, let me put it this way. It's the best tasting sausage you'll put in your mouth every time, period. That's Country Pleasing. Have yourself a Country Pleasing morning, and always text the show on the Country Pleasing text line.
Guys, 2020 is here. So new year, that means we got some new products, and I know you guys are probably getting ready for this year coming up. So a lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. So we've got Kubota, we've got Toro, we carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower. So we added this product last year, and I was just trying to kind of wade in the water with it just to kind of see what they would do. Number one stand-on mower out there. If you do your own research, get online, all roads are going to basically lead back to Wright. So and Red Max, so from the handheld to the Red Max mowers, we have everything here.
You're right. It's the Afternoon Drive with Jake Wimberly. Weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 1059. The Zone.
Are you ready? Brace yourself.
Now back to the Matt Wyatt Show.
All right, let's don't make him hang on any longer. Jimmy in Jackson have been hanging on and stayed with us through the break, and I appreciate that very much, Jimmy. Called me on the Davini Equipment phone line. Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson, your Kubota dealer. What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, man, long time no talk to.
Yeah, appreciate you calling.
I had a yeah, man, enjoy your new show. Hey, look, I was studying some financial stuff, and this was analysis from ESPN estimates that the 65 Power 5 schools would collectively lose $4 billion if there was no 2020 football season. I was just wondering, and they would at least $1.2 billion in ticket revenue. I was wondering, do you know how much the SEC would lose with no football season, and can they afford to lose that much money with all the programs that they have set up and the facilities and the new construction and all that kind of stuff?
Well, let's see here. One, you could do basic math on it and just try to flesh it out. Like if those numbers were true, Jimmy, let's just say, you got 65 Power 5 schools, and they're telling you collectively, what was it, $6 billion in losses if you don't have a season, we could all kind of do the math right there and go, well, divide $6 billion by 65. The problem with that is you're asking me about the SEC, and not every school is the same, even in our own conference, right? Like if we were to do that in reality, say, for instance, like Alabama's number of lost revenue would be much higher than, say, Vanderbilt's, right? Because Bama's got more to lose because they have more. They have more fans and more ticket sales and more revenue, right? So I guess what I'm saying is we could do the math if somebody's doing all of Power 5 football. What we know is this: about half of the SEC is at the top. They'd be in the 90th percentile of schools and programs losing money because they make the most money otherwise. Does that make sense at all?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so when we look at so just numbers are numbers on what they're going to lose. The overall idea, though, Jimmy, is it's massive, massive losses in revenue for everybody if they don't play football. What does that equal? Well, it equals people losing their jobs, okay, on university staffs, faculty, athletic staffs. I mean, we're talking millions of people losing their jobs because we didn't play football at all, if that were to happen. Well, and then, so, what are the ramifications of that? And then Ramifications. What are the ramifications of that? It's this ongoing process of peeling back that onion of one thing leads to the next layer, and the next layer leads to the next layer. And that's why, Jimmy, places like the SEC are not anywhere near yet, even though it's July 21st, they are nowhere near making permanent decisions to call things off and to cancel games and that's why I said yesterday on the show, the SEC is determined to play football, some football. Mike Leach gave a quote yesterday. He's hoping they can play at least 10 games, right? Because that's a semblance of a season. But the big thing is there are a lot of these schools, Jimmy, financially, they must play football. Nobody will come out and say it because it's almost politically incorrect. They're not going to say it publicly. But I promise you, you give them truth serum, they'll tell you, we must play football. We cannot afford to not play football. That's why a spring season is actually an option. It's a distant option. It's a last resort. But it's an option because by whatever, they're going to play some football because they have to. And in the meantime, this whole tiptoeing into it and how do we politely but very succinctly deal with the liability issues with players and coaches and staff members? How do we deal with all that? How do we protect ourselves in that area and ease into this thing? And I'm telling you, it's going to be a last resort to not play football this fall. Some football, Jimmy. I really believe that.
Yeah, Matt, it looks like it's going to be a really, really hard job to handle. And it really looks like it's going to – you may have a good point, Matt. It may be a good option to play and flip-flop some sports or some type of activities in the fall in place of football and have football in the spring.
Well, and see, the SWAC is already saying Christmas. The SWAC is already saying that they're basically going to do that. Here's what it said, Jimmy. It said the SWAC postponed fall sports competition and championships because of the pandemic. They've begun plans to push the fall schedule to the 2021 spring semester. Okay, so we already have an example of a conference who's already in the process of trying to plan this stuff. And I know it's the SWAC. Listen, as they start to work through it and plan through it, there are other conferences that will keep a close eye on it to see what they come up with. There's no question about it.
Last quick question, Matt, and this is a personal question between me and you,
Sure.
me and you and the listeners, I guess you could say. You're a Mississippi State man, and I just want to know, are you going to take your kids to Mississippi State games and wife, and is everybody going to be masked up, or what's your position on going to the games yourself?
Yeah. I'll have no problem going myself, wearing a mask, because frankly, from day one, we've been that family that some people might think we were a little bit too stringent. Some people might think we were a little bit too tightly wound at times because we constantly had masks on. We have not allowed ourselves to go to big gatherings. I'll be honest with you, our church even opened back up to the option of people to go. We have still stayed home and just done our church service online, watching it online. We don't go to the grocery store. We do the pickup order. We don't bring things into our home, packages that are delivered, bags of groceries, anything. We don't bring from the outside. We don't bring things into our home without sanitizing it all first before it comes in. We are adamant hand washers. We've taught our daughter to do that. And again, some people may think at times that we've gone overboard, but we don't hear that from anybody now because it's been the right thing to do the whole time. So what I'm saying to you, Jimmy, is that for me and my family, when it comes to something like, let's say, going to work at a football game, for me, or if they wanted to come with me, which they probably won't in this scenario, but if they wanted to, I have total confidence that I, my wife, and my daughter, we're going to take care of ourselves. We're going to wear masks. We're going to constantly be sanitizing. We're not going to be touching stuff. We're not going to be around people. We're not going to be shoulder to shoulder, just talking to people, hugging and shaking hands. We're going to take care of ourselves. And see, I think not all of the transmission can be avoided by those things. But listen, a lot of it can. And Jimmy, that's a fact. Whether it's going to a football stadium or whether it's going to church, a lot of the transmission of this thing that's happening out there could be taken care of by, number one, a mask, number two, distancing, number three, washing hands. But we have too many people who have just ignored those things. And that's just a fact. So as far as going to a game, for me, it'll be no problem. I don't care if they put all the fans in there. For me, it'll be no problem. I think, to answer your question about my wife and daughter, it'll be 2021 before we consider taking them to a sporting event. It won't be this year. That's just the way it is. Jimmy, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Coming up, let me get to your text, but coming up, we're going to have our countdown of 100 teams in 100 days. Today we have 3 more teams. We're playing catch up because we missed last week. Today is actually 46 days away from September the 5th, but we're doing 52, 51, and 50 today. We have 2 from the ACC and 1 from the AAC, and they're fun. Okay, so that's coming up. Also, a little bit about the Chiefs. Chris Jones had some comments about he and Patrick Mahomes and how many Super Bowls they're going to win. The former Houston High School, Mississippi State defensive line star got himself a big $85 million contract. And he's feeling it, and he made some predictions. So all that's coming up. And as I reminded you, we're going to talk to Jim Dunaway today from WJOX in Birmingham. Who's Alabama going to play week 1? We still don't know. And Big Ben McDonald from the baseball world, he had a pretty cool Major League debut on this day 30 years ago. We're going to talk to him about it later in the show. Norman, Patrick, Jason, Miko, I'm coming to all your texts next when we come back. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
You know, you hear me say that Ceasefire is the number 1 network in Mississippi. That's unquestioned. They are another great Mississippi company as well and really support local sports, high school. You know, you see their logo and their advertisements at Ole Miss and at Mississippi State and at Southern Miss and everywhere. And you may have heard this, you may not have, though. I mentioned this recently on the show, but there's a new thing they have at Ceasefire called the Ceasefire Health App. Okay, go to ceasefirehealth.com, read about it, sign up, and you put that app on your phone. And basically, if you have a minor ailment, a sickness, a minor health issue, something that, we're not talking about a broken leg or a heart attack. I mean, minor sickness ailments. Instead of having to go to the doctor for that and sit in the doctor's office for an hour, if you live out, drive 40 minutes just to get to the doctor's office, you pick up the phone, click on the Ceasefire Health App, and within minutes, you are video chatting, like FaceTime. You're video conferencing, talking to a medical professional at University Medical Center. One-on-one, live conversation, like nurse practitioner, someone like that. And a lot of times they can tell you what's going on, maybe even diagnose you right there on your phone and prescribe something without you ever even having to leave your house. Check it out, ceasefirehealth.com and the Ceasefire Health app. How you like my hog hat? That stands for Country Pleasin' Sausage. Country Meat Packers is a great Mississippi company. Let me tell you a little bit about them, huh? You want to know the reason that you need to sit down at the table and say, country pleasin', please? Here's why. It all starts with hand-picked, pure pork. No parts, no stuff. It's hand-picked ham, bacons, pork loins, the real deal. They produce country pleasin' in small batches also, which means consistency in every package. Spices, fresh ones that are mixed daily on site right there at the plant in Florence. The hand-picked pure pork is coarse ground for an old-style snappy bite, better flavor. Now, their smokehouses are not cookie-cutter houses either. They are designed and built for country meat packers and for their own smoking methods. And they use hickory logs that they split daily on site. They don't use hickory sawdust. The logs produce a better smoke, a stronger flavor. It's the real deal. They use a natural hog casing for their sausage. It's soaked in vinegar for a tender snap. Country Pleasin' sausage is smoked in a 4-hour pure smoke process for the best color and flavor. And here's the thing, it's hand cut, so the package experience is great as well. When you check it out on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast, you'll see what I'm talking about. And frankly, let me put it this way. It's the best tasting sausage you'll put in your mouth every time, period. That's Country Pleasin'. Have yourself a Country Pleasin' morning, and always text the show on the Country Pleasin' text line. Bureau Insurance. And here's a couple things I want you to know about Farm Bureau Insurance in Mississippi. Number one, they call themselves the home team. There's a reason for that. It's not just that most of your local agents throughout all 82 counties are people that are from... Back. Here we are today on this Tuesday, just getting started. Long way to go with you. In the Farm Bureau studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your home team. Hometown heroes. That's what we call them, your local Farm Bureau insurance agents. Because when you need them, they are there, right there in your town, right there in your county, right there with you. There's somebody you know. You see them all over the place. They're not somebody from hundreds of miles away. Farm Bureau. Hometown heroes. Also, we stay connected to you because of Ceasefire, the number one network in Mississippi. Ceasefire, customer inspired. I saw where Ceasefire is making waves over in the state of Alabama. They're going in there, putting in that super fast fiber internet, lightning fast. What is it, like gigabit speed internet? It's pretty incredible. And I just got an email 2 weeks ago, that in my neighborhood in Tupelo, there are enough people that have requested it that they have actually now begun the actual construction of running the fiber into our neighborhood. And I am on the list. And as soon as it's available, they're going to come hook it up at my house. And buddy, we will be streaming. It will be incredible. I'll be loading stuff so fast, it'll make your head spin. And I cannot wait. And maybe by the fall, that's all done and taken care of. All right, y'all text me on the Country Pleasin' text line 885-ESPN. Today is National Junk Food Day. Denzel says, number 1, peanut butter pie. Number 2, white chocolate Reese's peanut butter cups. Picking up a pattern here, Denzel. PB. I bet you like PB&J too, don't you? Number 3, Five Guys seasoned fries. Number 4, Warheads. And number 5, white chocolate Snickers. That's a heck of a list. Coffee Norman says, Matt, y'all stand by on the stream. We have just lost